So this is funny. Some guy trying to pass himself off as a real man with a picture of himself with some giant, big, thick beard. He's a soy boy, though. The guy's name is Romesh Ranganathan. And unfortunately, Romesh, yeah, he's your typical, he's not a white guy, but he's your pretty typical Western soy boy, beta male dude. My wife and I are stuck in a passion-free routine, and I'm very happy. I must have a fat wife. Yeah, I'd be happy too if I didn't have to have sex with that. God, big fatty is my wife. This is becoming ever more common today. Excuse me. People in sexless relationships or relationships with very little sex, it's becoming ever more common. Well, of course, it makes sense, right? Body positivity. Love me. No, I'm a big fat slob, right? Yeah, women telling men that, oh, you're liking thin women. Oh, that's just a social construct. That's in no way, shape, or form based in biology. Oh, no. Yeah. There's no truth to that, right? That's just made up. Who pushed that, by the way? Who pushed that? Men? I mean, why have a preference for one over the other then? Why have a preference for one over the other? That's the question. Did somebody just randomly one day roll a die? Just roll a die and say, oh, okay. Yeah, I'm going to like thin women over fat. All right, I'm going to roll a die here. By the way, is there a two-sided die? I don't think so. And we'll say odds is fatties and evens are thinnies. So rolls the die. Okay. The die said we need to like thinnies. Okay, I like thin women then. What? Where does the preference come from in the first place? That's the thing you have to ask yourself that nobody ever asks. Why did this preference exist? Because there had to be a preference, because if there wasn't a preference, the construct itself wouldn't have developed. It's not a construct, by the way. You know, it's a reflection of our biology, of our evolution, our preferences, that is. Nobody ever asks these questions, though. No, the only reason you have a preference is because it's a social construct, but I would have had to have a preference to begin with to choose one over the other. If they're just arbitrary and, as you're saying, random, and if they're not random, then there had to be a reason that I chose thin women over fat, right? But they're easier to pick up? Is that all it is? They're easier to pick up and easier to beat up because they don't have all that armor made of fat and lard and shit. Oh, so the preference is based in practicality. Okay, so you're telling me when the cavemen would grab the Wayman and drag them back to their cave by their hair, that the fat ones were harder to drag and beat up with the club than the thin ones. Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. So stupid. All right, but anyway, yeah. So this pathetic soy boy dude who represents an ever-growing sector of the population of young people says, be happy being not happy. Be happy in a sexless relationship. I don't think I'll be able to read all this, by the way. It's just so stupid. When my wife and I promised the rest of our lives to each other, you're a sucker to get into that kind of deal these days. I doubt either of us suspected that life would involve quite so much TV. Yeah, that's a real fulfilling life, huh? Marrying somebody, no sex, lots of TV. Oh boy. I am working long hours at the moment. At The Guardian? Really? Well, of course, he's the man, right? They have to hire somebody to do the actual work, right? And every day I call my wife and say something along the lines of, when I get home, shall we just snuggle up and watch something? What's wrong with you? Snuggle up? The fuck, is she a Care Bear? The fuck I want to snuggle up with her for? I want to bang her in the ass. I want to fucking snuggle with some broad. What are you talking about? She agrees. Then when I get in, we spend some time saying things like, it's just nice to spend some quality time together, isn't it? I'm about to cry. I'm having my man period. What the fuck? Ignoring the fact that we have just decided to stare in the same direction for a few hours before going to sleep. Wow, This the future of humanity, huh? Oh boy. That sleep will involve 2 minutes of us pretending to want to cuddle. I don't understand. Why are you even married? Before one of us executes a subtle reshuffle that frees us from each other. And so it will continue till one of us dies. He's a nihilist. This fucking guy is a nihilist. This seems to be the case with kids these days, with young people in their 30s and below. There's no meaning. No meaning at all. It's all meaningless. So why even bother making any effort? I say one of us, but I have Sri Lankan heart manufacturing, so it will almost certainly be me. Sri Lankan heart manufacturing. I don't understand what that means. All right. What the fuck's he talking about? So we have this conversation every day as if we are coming to the decision afresh. Yeah, because some part of you still wants love, affection, and sex, but you're too lazy and have too little fucking testosterone in your system, despite all that facial hair, which isn't really in any way, shape, or form based on how much testosterone you have. Pretending for nobody's benefit that it hasn't actually become our routine. I don't mind it at all. I'm very happy, and I think she is too. You think? Have you asked her? Oh, of course he hasn't, right? They don't have any real meaningful communication. They just sit and watch TV together. Having said that, I haven't asked her. Well, that's a great marriage! Oh, boy! Can I spend the rest of my life with somebody who I really don't know and I don't ever talk to? Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Life has no meaning, so why even bother, right? Yeah, okay. This sounds so depressing. And I'm not good at reading signals. Well, no wonder you're not having any relations. So you don't communicate with her. You can't read signals. So it's as likely she's in the later stages of preparing to leave me. What a loser. What a fucking loser. You're a loser, pal. In fact, I would say it's more than likely. I was playing battles with our youngest son recently. Oh my God, they have kids too. Wow. Why? You don't even know each other or talk to each other. What are you having kids for? With our youngest son recently, a game that involves us fighting each other while he repeatedly changes the rules until it's impossible for him to lose. And you let him do that? Why? Why would you let your son continually change the rules until he essentially can't lose? That's not reality. You know, I don't care if you're playing a game with a kid. It's still your kid and it's your job in everything you do to prepare this kid for reality. And games, in a small way, are sort of a representation of reality. They have rules for a reason. If you're constantly playing games with your kid and you don't have any rules in those games, you're kind of teaching him that, you can bend, break, create your own rules. No consequences. I wouldn't allow that. I wouldn't let the little fucker change the rules and beat me. Are you kidding me? I'm going to fight that little bastard until I win. And then someday he'll beat me, and then it'll mean something. And it's not like we're having a fisticuffs, right? It's not like we're having fisticuffs or something. I mean, he has as much chance of, but I mean, depending on what kind of game it is, if it's a roll of the die or some bullshit, he's just as much chance of winning as me, or almost. Why would you let him win? I don't get that. I do not get that. I would not let some kid beat me, okay? I'm sorry. So, when my son told me he had a secret daddy. Yeah, he wants a real man. He wants an actual daddy. Not some little playmate who's not going to be a father. I asked him who the secret daddy was, and he said he couldn't tell me because it was a secret. Well, yeah. Which made me feel very foolish for asking. I asked him again at bedtime last night, and he told me he was joking, and it's me. It sounds exactly like the sort of thing a cheating wife would tell her son to say. Yeah. What a loser this fucking guy is. Yeah, he's perfectly happy. I'm perfectly happy having no sex with my life, being a pathetic loser, weakling, soy boy who comes home, snuggles, and makes no effort. Well, I'm not surprised that she wants to bang other dudes. And I really honestly couldn't blame her. Because if you're not giving her what she needs, she's going to go somewhere else. Routine is the supposed enemy of passion. Usually, by the way, this is the shoe's on the other foot. Usually it's the woman who makes no effort who doesn't really try at all, who gives up. The man is willing, but she's unwilling, shooting him down constantly, rejecting him. He wants sex, she don't. This is not a common occurrence where it's the guy that's acting like this. Routine is the supposed enemy of passion, and I am constantly, not necessarily, and I am constantly paranoid that we are on the slide and haven't noticed. Pal, I don't think you'd notice if your house was on fire when you got home. You'd walk in, everything be burning around you, your kid would be burning alive, your wife would be burning alive, and you'd just sit down and eat a fucking Hungry Man dinner and watch TV. Do they have Hungry Man dinners anymore? Horrible food. We were at a restaurant a while ago. Well, that's not routine, is it? Well, maybe it is. I don't know. And there was a couple next to us who ate their meal pretty much in total silence. Yeah, that's the new normal. Welcome to the new normal, people, where you will be happy with less. Accept less and be happy or be miserable. Be happy being miserable. Oh, boy. He goes on to say, I was so smug. I hope we never get like that. I said, like the judgmental little shit I am. All right. So you already are like that. The fact that you don't seem to realize it, well, you're not too bright, pal. Not too fucking bright. This is your future if you get married, by the way. This is your future. Want to get married? Like this pathetic loser whose wife is probably cheating on him and he already seems to be aware of it but doesn't care. Wow. See, this is the problem, all right? If you lead a life where you're nihilistic and you believe life has no meaning, you're much more willing to accept that which prior to believing in meaninglessness would be unacceptable to you. Yeah, be happy with less. Be happy with a miserable existence like this fucking guy. How pathetic. How pathetic. My God. Boy, oh boy. This guy'd fit right in India. Where it looks like that's his mother country or his parents' mother country. I mean, shit. Feminism has taken hold there, too.